is the life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy.
Good morning everyone, how are we all? I wasn't going to let you go the whole weekend without video. Right, I've got people all around me here pulling faces and carrying on. Thank you, John, that's wonderful, very helpful. And a minute ago, Ella was shaking this thing that the camera's attached to. I've been trying to film this video since about 9 o'clock this morning and it's now 11:30. Things just keep happening. At the moment, we're out in the garden getting the cat introduced to the local area. She's been in the house for 2 days, getting accustomed to that and realising it's like home. And she's just investigating right now. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to talk about because of the distractions going on over there, and wherever he just went. Don't even ask me about Grandma. That's a whole different kind of distraction. Can't even speak. Anyway, obviously I was going to bring you a video. Now what I'm thinking I'm going to film today is because what John and I are going to be doing is, well, we've got some nice weather today. We're going to start emptying some of the stuff out of the van that needs to be emptied out of the van and put into Grandma's basement so we are not carrying so much weight in this van when we head on down the road with the rest of our trip. And also we're going to take a little look at some of the bits and bobs around the van. I've got to wire up my wastewater tank so I can read the meter and when it's level. And I had some other things I had to do. I also want to put some lights in the garage area. I don't know if I'll do that today really so much. Beyond that, there's not much else to show you today. I might have a little bit of a talk as about why we're here in France and why we're doing what we're doing, but I'm not 100% just yet. Like I say, I'm just ad-libbing this one, making it up as I go along. So I think the first step is to go and start emptying some stuff out of the back of the van into the basement and make some space. Let's do that. If you're new here, I'm Adi, single dad to my twins, John and Ella. We're home educating and living life our way. Years ago, I worked as an underwater cameraman in Thailand, where I met their mom. We tragically lost her at the birth in Bangkok, but our journey wasn't about to stop there. We're now converting our big van, a Mercedes Sprinter, getting ready for new adventures across Europe and beyond. Join us as we build, explore, and live our lives to the full. So we're going to start by opening this basement door. So yes, this is the door down into the basement and we've got loads of areas. It's full of junk. It's full of junk in here, but we have stored stuff in the past. Over here we've got some cases. So we're going to make a bit more space and we're going to bring more of our cases down here. Because we don't have a home in England anymore, we're going to store stuff here in France because this is a house we're going to be using as a bit of a home base. So he's run off up to the van. Yeah, I'll go and join him, I suppose, and we'll get some bits. Oh, right. Oh, catch. We're taking those. Wait, don't just walk off with one thing. Thank you. That mat's going to stay in the van. I need to use that. Messy. Come and see the state of this. Do you think we could have fit any more in there? I do not think so. Luckily, there's 2 suitcases behind there to come out, and most of these green boxes are full of stuff we're going to store here. So we're going to have, I think we're actually going to be left with loads of room in the end. Mammy's going for a walk to see her friend. Right, let's get this done. Right, Mr. Awesome. Yeah. Come on. I'm going to give you instructions, okay? I'm going to give you things and say, take it to a place. And what you're going to do?
Far beyond.
Take it to a place.
Far beyond.
Right, these things stay in here. Right, Mitt. Okay, it's sort of organised. There's a lot more space than we had on the way in. I've got all this room here that I didn't have before. Hopefully I'll get the bike and the scooter in there. If not, I'll have to rearrange things. I've only got those last little bits there. So that's looking good. We've got a young man down here who is putting these reflectors on the wheels that we have to legally have on. Other than that, excuse me, everything else is down in the basement, where we'll have to go and organise it soon. But I thought what I would do now is just tell you a little bit about why we're here. Now I know there's a few thousand of you out there who've been with us for quite a long time, and you know the story. And obviously from the intro that was in the videos prior to the dailies, gave you a bit of background and told you a little bit about us, where we come from and whatnot. That right there is Delphine. That is the kid's mum. Now, she was a beautiful little French lady who wandered into my life when I was living in Thailand. She appeared in my office and came to do the underwater video training with us. And my business partner at the time, Elizabeth, who is Belgian, speaks French obviously, she chatted to her for quite a while when I just sat there sort of listening and smiling. And when she left the office, I was like, oh, and Elizabeth looked at me. She was like, what's going on there? I'm like, I like her. And within a few months we'd got together. Within a few more months we'd moved in together. And within a year we bought land together and we were building a house and trying for kids. And then of course she got pregnant. We found out it was twins. Yep, much to my surprise. And all good, moving on with life. And then there was some complications. She felt things were not quite right. So what we did was we moved from the island up to Bangkok to get her to the hospital so she could be checked out. And in the hospital, they advised that she stay in the hospital while I go and find an apartment in the city. So we did that. And she was fine for the first few days. And then they were injecting her to try and stop her from having the kids too early, because it would have been far too premature. And at the same time they were injecting the kids with steroids so their lungs could develop quickly, ready to come out early. And then one night she just couldn't feel them moving, so we called the doctor and he said the kids need to come out now or we're going to lose them. So she got dragged away and disappeared into cesarean section, to which she never came out basically. The kids were born, put into incubators. She was all right and fell asleep. And then it was another hour or so later, the doctor called me. I'd been sent down the road to go and get myself some food. Called me and basically said she'd stopped breathing. So I came racing back and they were doing CPR on her. And she never made it. She just never came back. She was a tiny little lady, and her body, the way I see it and like to think of it, is she gave everything. Her body gave every ounce of power it had to keep those twins alive, and she did, and that's why we're where we are today. So ever since then, I've had a very, very long, now 14-year relationship with her mother. We've become family. Yeah, I've lost my parents in the meantime, and she is the only grandparent the kids have left. She has no one. Her husband died many years ago, Delphine's dad, and then obviously she's actually lost a couple of other kids along the way when they were very young. And then obviously Delphine, so she's on her own here in France. And to be fair, my heart is in Southeast Asia, and that's where I would really like to take the kids and travel and live and start a new life again. But because of her, that's why we choose to be here. That's why we're now living in a van and touring Europe, is to be close to her, essentially. In her old age, I don't want her to be on her own. I feel an obligation, and we love her. She's family. I don't want to separate her from the kids. And if we were to fly out to the other side of the world and then something happened with her, it's the flight back and then having to deal with things. It just made sense to be close to her. As she gets older, we will visit her a handful of times a year as we're passing through France. And as she gets older and needs help, we can be around to offer that help and spend more time here with her. and then eventually one day the kids will inherit this house, and then there's all that to process and deal with. So it just made sense to be here in Europe, and that is why we're doing what we're doing. And it's lovely. We're a family here. It's a family home. We've built our own little family, me and the 2 kids and grandma, and the cat, of course, the cat who is now wandering the garden and the roads and getting to know the area. So yeah, anyway, there you go. I just wanted to fill you in because I know there's a huge amount of new subscribers who maybe didn't know the backstory, and that's it. That is it. So I'm going to continue getting some of these bits and bobs out of the van, and then I'm not sure what's next. I'm going to pick up with you in a bit because I don't know what I'm doing, to be perfectly honest. We're just pottering around. I suppose the goal would be to stop recording early today and get a video out for you guys, and then we can worry about what happens next week. Let's do that. So for those of you who are new and not been around that long, you'll have probably seen me just putting that bike back in there. That is a Hitway folding electric bike that we were sponsored with quite some months ago. If you're interested in having a look, head back. We did an entire video on that bike. It's fantastic. It was exactly what we needed for living like this lifestyle. It's great because we're going to be able to park the van up in places and just use that as our vehicle to go to the shops and whatnot. Anyway, that kind of leads me on to something else. This here was sent to us and I have actually used it. Now, you know me, I'm legitimate, I'm not making stuff up. I have used this thing. I can't do a demonstration now because I would need a car with a flat battery. I don't have one. This is a jump starter from the company Grepro. I did used to have one of these things and it wasn't big enough to work on a van, so when they came along and offered me this, it was just perfect. The timing could not have been better. It's a really nice compact little size. Let me show you. It's a great little size, and I have used this on my brother's car. He's got a big estate car. Now this thing is rated to start petrol cars, or gas if you're coming from America, up to 10 litres, or diesel cars and vans up to 8 litres. So it's got no problem starting a van this size or any car underneath that. It's obviously got a little flashlight on it if you really want, a torch, to those of you in the UK. It's got a couple of different USB ports. It has got power outlets for a 12-volt socket. And also, here we go, it's so compact. This slots in there like that. And you simply connect that to the car or van battery and off you go. It's fantastic, I have to admit. And if you're in doubt, you can contact my brother. Seriously, we started, I would have filmed it, but it was right in the centre of town and there was no way I could set cameras up or do anything like that. It was an emergency. We just had to get the car started and get it off the road and get it out of the way. So anyway, yeah, I certainly would not be travelling on a trip like we're doing now, all over Europe. Who knows where we're going to end up. I would not travel without one of these. And it's not just for yourself, it's the ability to help other people. Now, I'm not going to need the box anymore. I'll put that in a stash somewhere up front. And this is going to get pride of place just there. So, of course, as you'd expect, there's going to be a link to this down in the description with a discount code of 15% as well. So, couldn't ask for more. Look at the organisation. I am so happy. It goes in and we've got a ton of room for more stuff. I would love at some point to actually build some structure in here, some wooden things that things can fit into better and be, well, just better, yeah. Anyway, I've managed to get the bike and the scooter in there. The scooter, we'll be doing a review on that at some point soon, I promise you. Probably be down the road in Spain. Now I've got those in there, I've realised I need to take them out because I do want to connect the cable for the wastewater tank so I can see how much is in there. It's one of those little jobs I really want to do. What do I need? I need to get in there to connect it to the Cerbo. What do I need? I need tools that are in there. So I've got to remove all this. My own worst enemy, aren't I? If I can get this done quickly, that'd be great, because then I can put this video up for you. Right, what we're going to have to do Just pull some of this stuff out again so I can get to my bloody tools now. Stuff's organised, it's very easy to take it out and probably put it back in. Only problem I have is the connector I need to go into the Cerbo GX, which will then show me up on here my water, because look right now, oh wow, look at all that solar going in. You see here, that's showing my fresh water is at 41%, so I need the connection for my wastewater. But the connector that I need to connect it is somewhere in this van. I don't really know where it ended up, because at the very end when we were packing, things just started getting thrown in here. And there's boxes everywhere with just junk in them, and it does need sifting through, but I'm getting a bit tired of it today, so let's have a look, shall we? I don't even know where. Maybe you could open the side door and have a look in the glove box for me. There's a little, I think it's all in a little bag. Little connectors, and there's some blue Victron bits in there. Oh, I thought that was a lucky find then, it's not. Hero! Okay. I wonder, I have an idea. Come with me. Could be in this box. Could be. That'll mean I was actually organised if it's in here. It should be in here. All right. It's not looking like it is in here, but this is where it should be. Oh, it's a connector like that. I wonder if I could just use that for now. That's the connector I want. It's not the one, but it is exactly the same. So that'll be fine. That'll work. And I can disconnect those. This'll work. So that is the Cerbo GX. That is the brains of the whole operation. You can see the stuff going off everywhere. And you know what? I'm actually mistaken. I think I could just connect it into this one. And I don't need the other one, so should be a really quick job, really. Really? Let's do it. So I disconnect that. Here's my cable for this one. Let's give a bit of length on it. Cut that. Right. Hey?
Where's the now?
I don't know, mate.
Have you found the things?
No, I've discovered I don't need it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Because it'll connect into the one that's already here. In there. And then in theory, that'll go back, awkwardly in there. Okay, that's in. So what I've got to do now is go and fiddle around with the settings on there and label it, and hopefully that'll work. Let's find out. Right, sorry, I got completely sidetracked. I was going to show you me fiddling with this and then I got completely sidetracked in the settings trying to figure it out, but look what I've managed to do. So now I can go like this, and there is my freshwater tank and there's my wastewater tank. I love gadgetry. I love gadgetry. That's brilliant. I am stoked. I need to get John. I've got to show John. So by rights, now I've got this organised, this should all go back in really quickly. Ta-da! Okay, so despite John nearly closing the door on the camera, it's all in. It's all in. I would like to wire up the internet. I don't know if I'll do that in this video because we're in France, and let's make sure that all goes in. Oops. Oh, yeah. Sorry, just about. Because we're in France, and of course it's all about the food. So Grandma has got the table laid out with food now for lunch, and that could last us, you know, 1 hour, 2 hours we could be sat there. So I don't know if I'll get to that today. Let's just find out, shall we? All right, folks, as you can see, the sun has left us. We did eat for about an hour and a half, and then I started editing this video. It's already up to 20 minutes. That's plenty for this one, I am sure. I'm not going to do another video for another week. I've decided I am going to have a week now. Well, I'll film dribs and drabs here and there, and then I'll get it edited, and we'll have another normal full-length vlog next weekend. In the meantime, I thought I should mention, because I haven't mentioned it for a long time, and I don't mention it very often, we have a Patreon, you know. You can jump across to Patreon. The link is down below in the description, and if anyone's interested in helping us out, you're able to subscribe on there, and you get extra content, some behind-the-scenes stuff. To my Patreons who are already subscribed, I do apologise. Since we left England, I haven't had a chance to update anything on there, but it is going to be coming back to normal soon. Extra videos, extra photos, and direct communication with us. Also, a big thank you. Loads of people have been sending us coffees recently. Again, down in the description below, you can buy us a coffee, and that helps out so much as we get this adventure started, because every penny helps, every penny counts, and yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. It is free to hit subscribe. It is free to hit the like button. Go for it, and I'll see you next week. Thanks everyone for everything. Oh, and also, I think I've managed out the file size thing for the videos that I said. I was having a problem with the export, and I was getting it wrong. The setting I was using, I'd put it on too big a sort of, yeah, don't even worry about it. I messed up, and my file sizes were far too big. I've been able to shrink them down. I've also managed to get myself a decent eSIM, and it's got me on a much better internet connection, so the upload for this video should go all right. Let's see how we go. Thanks guys, speak to you later. Bye bye.